Hey guys, and welcome back to the Living in Fort Collins real estate channel by Sukup Real Estate Services. You can see, however, that the sign behind me says Living in Greeley. I am Caleb Andersen, a realtor on Team Sukup. I live in Greeley, Colorado with my wife, who teaches over in Greeley. We've been in the Greeley community for several years now. My wife attended UNC, and I transported over after we got married. So Greeley is what we call home. I kind of paired my real estate passion with living in Greeley and ended up with this nice conglomerate that lets me share some information with you guys about the real estate market, Greeley itself, and the surrounding area. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Greeley is a fantastic place to live. If you have questions about that, you can see our previous video about living in Greeley, Colorado, and the surrounding areas. A lot of times when I'm talking about Greeley, I mean Greeley and Evans and all of those blended communities. So if you have any specific questions about those smaller subsects, let me know, but we really try to focus on Greeley and the area as a whole in these videos. That said, if you're considering moving or living in Greeley, Colorado, employment is a major deciding factor. So let's go ahead and hop into some of the employment opportunities offered in the area. It would be wrong to talk about Greeley employment opportunities without talking about JBS USA. JBS is one of the largest meat processing facilities in the country. They are owned by JBS Brazil, which actually has more than 78,000 employees. That being said, JBS is a major contributing factor to the economic viability of Greeley. Between the agricultural community itself and the plant itself, there is a ton of revenue that is generated through JBS, and they employ a great host of people in the Greeley, Evans area and the surrounding communities in a ton of different positions. They've got accountants, they've got meat processors, they've got managers and staff and technicians. They've got a whole host of career opportunities if you are looking to join the field. So my friends and I actually, when I used to be in Fort Collins at Colorado State University, used to joke around and call Greeley Cowtown for very good reason. But all of the Cowtown jokes aside, one of the major economic players in the area is agriculture. So those are some things to consider if you're looking for employment in Greeley. Another major employer in the Greeley area is the University of Northern Colorado. Anytime that you have a major Division I university in the area, you're going to have consistent job opportunities. You're going to have some safe jobs, as the government generally subsidizes public universities. So there's not a very high likelihood of these jobs disappearing and the school going from full capacity to no students, no staff, etc. So the major Division I university really helps hold Greeley's economy, really helps provide some good job opportunities. Academia in general in Greeley and the Evans area is very important. You'll notice that as we get further down the list. A little bit of a teaser for you guys. So UNC itself does provide some great economic opportunities to the city of Greeley. In addition to the agricultural and UNC life, there are major medical players in the Greeley community. As I mentioned in my previous video, UC Health built a brand new facility back in 2019-2020 over off of Highway 34 on the west edge of Greeley, and it employs a great host of people. It also has many small subsidiaries in town, some clinics and some urgent care centers, etc., that employ nurses and doctors and traveling technicians and all the maintenance staff that it takes to upkeep and operate those facilities. So the medical community in general contributes a lot, not just to Greeley for everything that they do for us. Thank you if you're in the medical field, but also what they do for our economy in terms of job support and job growth. As we've seen growth in the Greeley community, the medical industry has really taken off. So that is a major contributing factor to the economic viability of Greeley. As we've seen this great growth in Greeley over the last few years, another thing that has exploded has been Greeley School District, District 6. There are now 29 schools that are district-operated schools in District 6, as well as 6 charter schools. All of those schools employ teachers and janitors and coaches and paraprofessionals and support staff and building upkeep staff and a whole host more. Administrators, accountants. It's really hard to visualize what goes into keeping a school running, since most of our experiences with school were as kids growing up. So it's kind of crazy to think about it, but District 6, as Greeley continues to grow, is one of the largest employers in the area. And there's a lot of great stability that comes with that. We see influxes to these schools. There is a relatively new school that my wife teaches at, and they are at and over capacity, often because the schools are getting to be very desirable in the area. So That is a great benefit to the community, these new schools, these new facilities. Greeley has undergone major renovations, District 6, on many of their schools in Greeley to keep up with the growth and to make sure that teachers have adequate facilities for all the students. So there is a ton of employment and economic drivers coupled with that school growth and the things going on here in the community of Greeley. I mentioned that academia was going to keep making an appearance on this list, and our next largest employer in the area is Ames Community College. Ames has programs ranging from dental hygienist to CDL driver's license programs to business programs and 2-year degrees that will transfer into 4-year colleges here in Colorado and elsewhere. That being said, there's more than 200 programs at Ames. With 200 programs comes a whole host of professors and advisors and support staff. A lot of these other things that you've already heard through our academia spiel here apply to Ames as well. So there's a host of job opportunities and employment opportunities through Ames, as well as those other school opportunities, UNC and District 6 in general. So there's some great opportunities to be a part of the school community here, to help our kids out, to help some young adults out, and to still have a great career. So Greeley is very heavily invested into the educational space. Another major contributing company to the employment and economic opportunities in Greeley is Swift & Company. Not Taylor Swift. Swift & Company is a transportation company that focuses primarily on meat products and other things of that nature. They revolutionized back in the late 1800s using train box cars with refrigeration carts, etc., and from then have only grown. They have a headquarters here in Greeley. Throughout their entire company, they employ more than 20,000 people. They've been on the forefront revolutionizing vacuum sealed products and things of that nature. So they employ everything from truck drivers to engineers to high-level managers to financial overseers. So there's a lot of opportunities to be involved on the employment front through Swift & Company as well. They are a heavy beneficiary of the agricultural community in the area since they do so much for JBS and the other meat producers in the area. The agricultural blend really comes back into play with Swift Transportation. The city of Greeley and subsequently the city of Evans are also very big employers in the area. Anytime that you have a growing city, you have demand for roads and infrastructure, and your government itself needs to have a strong presence in the area so you can kind of control and dictate how things go and make sure that things grow in the correct manner, not too fast, and that the city itself keeps up with things. So the city of both Greeley and Evans are big contributors to the local economy here in the area. The next major employer on our list is actually not in Greeley itself. It's about 10 minutes south, just outside of Lucerne, Colorado, but they still play a major factor in the contributions that they make to the employment in the area. So Energies Services is connected to the oil field. To translate it into more layman terms, they essentially are involved in transportation, construction, maintenance, electrical services, etc. to help keep the oil field and comparable services up and running. So they employ a lot of people, everything from truck drivers to maintenance technicians to electrical engineers and other people that are involved in keeping those systems up and running so we can enjoy the great quality of life that we do. So we're very grateful for their contributions as well to our jobs here in Greeley, Colorado. And last but certainly not least, anytime that you see a surge in population and a surge in growth in an area, there is bound to be some real estate activity that follows of all kinds. So there's been massive commercial development throughout the area, from some shopping centers to restaurants to entertainment venues, etc. And on the other hand, there's been major residential development as apartment complexes and townhome communities, as well as single-family communities and new neighborhoods in general have been developed to keep up with the growing population, the influx of people, and who can blame them? With Colorado and Greeley being such a great area, we're going to see some of that growth in the foreseeable future as well. But with that came a strong demand for real estate. So another major economic player in the area would be construction crews, realtors, anyone really involved in the development of those properties. So architects and engineers, the grounds crew, the service crew, all of those have seen some major economic and job opportunities in the Greeley-Evans area in recent times. So by now, hopefully you guys have a good picture of the area. Greeley is super diverse. It ranges from agricultural to educational to industrial. There's a whole bunch of different industries that are really driving the job growth and the employment opportunities here in Greeley, which is great because you never want to have too many eggs in one basket. Look at Detroit and some other areas. Once one industry goes down, you can really be left hurting as a general community. So here in Greeley. We love the diversity. We love the diversity that it brings to our community. We're extremely grateful for all of those employers and everything that they bring to us as a town. So thank you all for everything that you do. All right, guys, that wraps up our Living in Greeley video discussing employment opportunities in the area. I hope you guys have learned something. If you are interested in any of those specific corporations that we've talked about, reach out to me. I'd love to discuss or put you in touch with some of my contacts. Furthermore, if you have any questions about Greeley or Evans or the Colorado Front Range in general, we at Team Sukup Real Estate Services would love to help you. Again, I am Caleb Andersen. I am a realtor for Team Sukup. I am over in Greeley, Colorado. Please feel free to reach out to me or anyone else on the team. This is Caleb Andersen, signing off. See you guys.